Hey y'all, welcome. How's everyone doing? Let's see. Magical logo in 3, 2, 1. Ah, dang, that way. It flips it for me. I wanted to feel like my own fairy godmother for a moment there, but it, it didn't work. Hi everyone. Happy Friday. Um, are y'all ready to do some beading with me? I'm very excited to do some beading. We're doing, I think, a pretty accessible project today. This is very much in like Sarah Lovecraft's "It's time to feel good on a Friday," that I so agree with. We're doing some knotted head pins today, and those are 100% inspired by Sarah. So, Sarah, if you feel this energy of the stream, we are saying hello to you and sending you love. I feel like I've heard Sarah's, even when I'm not there, I've heard Sarah sometimes mentions me on her streams, and I think I also like to mention Sarah on my streams. So it's just Sarah and I talking about each other because we like each other. So if you're not following Sarah, make sure you're following Sarah Lovecraft. She does so many lives every week that are so inspiring and beautiful. Check out her stuff. Today's project is we did a poll. Y'all picked it. We're doing these Christmas tree earrings. So the technique we're going to be focusing is wrapping up our little beads with not too complicated, with just some wire. We only need 2 gauges of wire. Basically your basic tools. Nothing too much today. So we're gonna hop right in. Thanks for being here. We've got folks over on YouTube watching too. Hello to you folks and to the folks watching this in the future on replay. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. So beat along, have some fun. It's Friday, and this is our time. If I get off camera, our magic word is going to be banana split. Just yell banana split in the comments. I will hopefully see it quickly and get me to show everything I'm doing actually on camera, so that this is not a podcast. So the tools and supplies you'll need is not extensive. You'll need 2 gauges of wire. You'll need a thicker gauge. That's going to be our base that the tree is sitting on and all the way up to the loop. I'm using a 20 gauge. You could also use an 18 as long as it fits through your beads. It just has to fit through your main bead. And then you're going to need some sort of tiny bead. I jumped ahead. And you're going to need a tiny wire for your tiny beads. So I'm using, this is just a 22. I like to get my big old spools of wire from Monster Slayer. Highly recommend them. They're a small company. And you can get your wire by the pound pretty affordably. I bought these years ago, so I don't know exactly what they cost these days. But copper wire is always going to be basically one of the cheapest options. And then beads-wise, you'll need a base bead. Obviously, we're doing Christmas tree earrings, so that's what I recommend. I just posted them in the shop. If you're interested, they're on the website. Or I think Jesse got all fancy, and if you comment, they just have to comment sold. Yeah, if you literally just comment sold on this in the comments here, you can load up a set into your cart. So we have them in 3 colors. We have these clear ones, we have some red ones, and we have green ones. We're doing them in packs. You get all 3 colors in a pack. I actually haven't decided which ones I want to use. The only ones I have available to me here, I guess, are the green and the red. So for my tiny bead, these are a 2.5 millimeter garnet. In the original one, I used 11O seed beads, which are definitely smaller than these garnets. So this is partially going to be an experiment to see how well this works with the tiny gemstone with this technique. So Debbie said, I couldn't catch where you buy the wire. The site's called Monster Slayer. The site feels archaic, but I promise it's a real it's a real place. And they're like a small company, so I really definitely always try to tell folks to go support them. Shop small whenever you can. Cindy's grabbing some of our Christmas trees. So what do we think? I have got these two colors available. Should we do garnet with red, less contrast, garnet with green, which might be what I gravitate. This is what I'm gravitating towards. It could also be garnet with clear, but I'd have to go walk across the room and find them. And I'm not moving. So we have two color options right now. I do kind of like the contrast of this, though. Garnet with green, green, green. All right, we have votes for green. Red out of my way. Green, you are the winner. So we're going to start by making essentially the frame that our cluster is going to sit on. We're going to start with a knotted head pin. A normal head pin is not really going to work for this design because of what I'm going to show you what's sitting underneath this cluster. You could make it work, definitely. But I have some extra wire being wrapped back down under that cluster just to make it come out a bit farther. Show you that in one moment. Michelle Riva says, I get most of my wire from Monster Side. They're awesome. Yeah, they're a great company. I'd highly recommend. They're just very reasonable. I think you can buy sterling and things from them too, but I cannot personally vouch for that. I've never done that. I've always been a copper lover. It's affordable, it's beautiful, it naturally antiques, but then again, copper doesn't actually work for everyone and every skin type. So you're going to need about 8 inches will be plenty to make the base. This will probably be too much. But it'll give us some extra room to do some wrapping in a moment. We're going to start at the bottom with our knotted head pin. If you want probably an even better explanation, I learned this from Sarah Lovecraft. Sarah said she learned it from somewhere else, so probably lots of ways to do this. All I'm doing is bringing it around my round nose pliers. And all I did was twist until I have 2 full loops, and I am back to where I originally started. That piece right there is my start point, 2 loops, and I'm back to it. Keep it on the pliers, bend 90 degrees. So now you have a coil with a 90-degree tail coming off of it. And now you can remove your wires. Our live wires, our Sarah lovers are giving a knotted head pin alert. Fantastic. What I've just done is I brought it right back through as a bunch, but not all the way. And I'm going to grab my nylon jaw. This is Sarah's tip. And I'm grabbing it with another pair of pliers. I'm sure I could use flat nose or round nose, whatever gives you the best grip. Try to hold it near the end of the wire, not to mare up this, because we're going to need that in a moment. And pull that through until you like the look of your head pin. Every single one I do comes out differently. And that's okay. We've got one head pin done. I'm going to go ahead and keep going, but you could also do everything in 2s as you go. Alrighty, our knotted head pin is done. Grab one of your Christmas beads. Let's see. I kind of bent up the tip of there when I was grabbing with pliers, so make sure that's straight. Let's see. Yeah, I did the other ones. Actually, I haven't tested the other colors, so the hole sizes are different. They shouldn't be. I'm not an owner of an awl, so I'm just testing if one size is a little clogged up here. Yeah, the top of that is a little clogged up. Which might mean I might need a thin O, but then it comes right back through when just takes a second try. You could also do this with a 22 gauge wire. It would be just fine. I just like the idea of a thicker wire as the base. Alrighty, the tree is on its stand. If you have any questions, please shout them in the comments because I'm going to focus more on trying to be as clear as possible here than reading the comments. Our tree is ready to go. We now need to put in a gap before we make that loop. And we need to make it pretty standard so that they match. So I'm going to come in. There's options here. I'm going to use my nylon jaws, and that's going to be my gap. It doesn't really matter the size of the gap. If you want a bigger, if you want more room for your cluster, put a larger gap. This should work well. You could also use the flat part, kind of this area of your flat nose pliers. And I'm trying to think if I want to bend this a certain way. It doesn't really matter. We can adjust it. See, we have lots of room now. And from here, we'll go ahead and make a pretty standard wrapped loop. I like the idea of them being larger. So I'm going to come up to about there on my round nose and generally remember that that's my spot for the next one. And make my loop until I'm happy. Alrighty, one knotted headband, one uncompleted wrap loop. And we're now going to try to fill up that entire space with wire. This will make the whole thing a lot sturdier. It will mean we don't need to do as much wrapping with the smaller wire because there will already be kind of like a trunk to these earrings. So I'm just going to come in and coil this as far as I can. This is why we wanted the extra wire, because I think I'll have enough to get. Oh, I'm bending my loop. Okay. All the way down to the Christmas tree. I could even come down onto the Christmas tree if I wanted to give it a little hat, but save that for another day. Wait, me on camera? Not possible. Alrighty, I need to make sure I cut off enough of this wire a little bit closer so I'm not putting too much pressure onto this bead. It's glass, it can break. We need to be nice to our beads. This coil does not need to be perfect. It's going to be completely hidden. But I'm going to tighten up my coil just a little bit. And step one's done. Shall we do that once more? Might as well, to make sure they're matching before we really get going with our wrapping. Let's see if I can do it even faster this time. 8 inches of wire. Definitely start with this flush as possible because that is going to show in your headband a little bit. Wanda, what are you commenting on? I do make my wrap loops stiffer than Sarah, I think. All right, I'm coming in to make my knotted headpin all the way back to my starting point, 90 degrees. Folded back in, pull that through. And all the way through. It's definitely harder with a thicker gauge wire to do this. Alrighty, our knotted headpin is ready to go. I bent it up a little bit. Alrighty. I gotta keep that somewhat straight or that check bead has no chance of getting on here. This is the one that was giving us trouble. Oh, come on. I bet there's like a little piece of something from the tumbling in there. I bet the thinner gauge wire would have no problem getting through it. It's just because I'm tempting fate with these thicker gauge wires. See, that one went right on. Very good. 20 gauge should generally work. You see what I'm saying? How every knot I hip in looks different? That one looks like bent sideways to me. Wanda says, you don't change hands when you make a wrap loop, Sam. It's throwing me. I'll have to pay attention to what I do, Wanda. I've been doing it the same way for all the time I've been wrapping wire. Okay, I want that to lay a little flatter, so let's see if that does the trick. Okay, a little better. Tree is on its stand. I think I realized with these pair, they're actually different lengths. And I think it's because I used 2 different pairs of nylon jaws. So I'm coming with the same pair of nylon jaws, so I have the same distance. Oh, actually, look, there's also different distance depending if I'm at the tip or not. So we're going to pretend that this is where I did it last time. I don't remember. Let's see what Wanda's commenting on. We were about there for making our loops. What threw you, Wanda? That's how I'm so used to doing it. Alrighty. And now, I think, and then Sarah likes to keep holding it while she wraps. That's not what I'm used to, but it definitely works too. I like to hold on to my loop and then start my wrapping. Alrighty. Where did we get off a little bit? Not a big deal. This will pretty much all be covered up. And I'll be able to tuck this in a little bit. My other idea I had for these earrings is that you could also make the cluster with this technique that I showed a couple of weeks ago if you liked a little bit more of a these are like leave it to fate and to see what happens when you actually wrap it, but these you have much more control over, so that sort of cluster would also definitely work with this design. All right, let's see how we did. Are we at similar lengths? All right, not bad. I'll take it. It is time to begin our clustering. Wanda's knows every bead group. Amazing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab our thinner gauge wire. I'm using 22 here. You got to use what works with your tiny beads. The 22 was no problem with the 11 OC beads and wasn't any issue with these machine cut garnets. I suspect if I was using an Indian cut, I would need a 24 or 26 gauge to do this. So what I've done is I've got about 2 feet of my thinner gauge wire. And just to save, so you all don't lose your mind at me, I have strung up a few inches worth. It's just probably more than I'll need, but I can't see these anymore. They are simply too small, and I'm becoming an old man. So I have gone ahead and done those and just folded over the end so they won't fall off. And I'm going to be starting my wrap from this opposite end here. So come in with your free end of the wire and just put it through your loop, and we're just going to anchor it using our loop. So it's through the loop. I'm now able to hold it better and just do a couple wraps to get this anchored. At the end, we'll come in and trim that, but now we can actually start. So there's a million ways I feel like an old man, y'all, sometimes. One of my knees came out last week. I couldn't stand up. It was terrifying. And then it was my wrist, and then it was it's bad. So there's so many different ways you can do this, but the main thing that I wanted to avoid was I didn't just want to have, I wanted space for these beads. I mean, you could come in, keep them all together like this, and wrap, and you'll make a cluster that way. But it doesn't allow for like much else to happen. And that's what I wanted, something more like this, where it's like all the beads are just giving each other a big ol' hug. So what I'm going to start with is just a few beads as I start my wrap. And they're just going to be kind of, as I do my wrap, they're kind of naturally spacing out. And you can kind of control that a little bit. That is the power that you have here. So I brought a few more in. And this is also going to be I can already tell this is way different than using the seed beads because these are like twice the size. So this cluster is going to fill up a lot faster. And I'll see what options I have. Alrighty. I'm going to take a little break from the beads, come around to this side, now grab more beads. And y'all, this is where truly just make up. Banana split! No. Thanks, Dizzy. Uh-oh. Come on, garnet. Okay. This is why I should have used that. All right, my wire has the smallest kink in it, so it's stopping my beads from coming. So I'm going to come in with my... This is the seed beads. We're not this tricky. Let's see if I can kind of gently massage this out. Oh, come on! No! There must be I remember when I was stringing that one of the garnets was a little bit harder to get on this wire, and now it's giving. Oh! Alright, I got it close enough. I can make that work. I'll bring it around, bring the next garnet, and we'll pretend like that never happened. And it'll just become part of our free wrapping. Okay, well, first lesson learned here. Thinner gauge is going to be a lot easier. And from here, now I'm going to start crisscrossing, bringing in more beads, just having fun with it. Don't think about this too much. Rich Mouse would say, stop looking at it, do it. Truly stop looking at it. I will not be doing that. I'm going to try coming down onto the tree a little bit, see how I like that.
Well, no. I was just gonna say before I forget. Usually on Thursdays, I leave before the person packing leaves. I put the packages out Friday morning, so it's just helpful if you just stick them over here, so that I like have to trip over them because if they're over there, I'm like, oh, there's no packages, yeah. So thank you.
Insert this into grooves until I'm at the top. There we go. You can see it a little bit, but we'll say that works. Alrighty, I've brought it back around to the top. Am I gonna try to replicate this? Hopefully we'll just run out of time, but I have plenty of time. We're gonna run out of time if I try to. I'm gonna have to string these one by one. I've only prepped one of these strands. I'll give you all time to catch up if you're making something similar. Cheryl said I can hear Jesse and not me.
So your phone, I took my headphones off the charger.
Uh-huh.
And your phone connected to them. And so I was asking Sarah when she's done packing the packages if she could just, on Thursdays, bring them over here.
Oh my gosh, y'all. I am so sorry. Y'all heard some inside talk about shipping packages. That's a first. We're full of firsts this week. Alrighty, earring one done. I'm actually kind of loving it.
I was wondering why I couldn't connect to my computer.
Oh my gosh. I wonder how long that was the case.
Like 30 seconds.
Okay, so we're gonna do it again anyway. So if you missed anything, Shire said, "Darn it, Jesse, why didn't you talk about the bead box?" Alrighty, so I ended up having like about a foot left of wire, so I definitely had plenty. I'm gonna come in this next time with a little less. But I'm too nervous to just use this amount to do this. So I'm probably gonna do about 18 inches this time. And now we're just gonna chat for a little bit because it's gonna take me an eon to get these garnets strung. I'm also gonna preemptively straighten this wire a bit so the garnets don't get stuck. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of coming with my nylon jaw all the way down. Hopefully that'll get rid of any little kinks that we're hiding. Fold over. Drop your pliers. We're just gonna fold it over. It doesn't need to be pretty. It ain't part of your piece. Oh my goodness. So like where was I in the wrapping? I don't even know what was missed. That is too funny. I'm so sorry, y'all. I didn't even know that was possible. So we're gonna go ahead and do from our wrapping again. But we need garnets first. I need about 2.5 inches of garnets. And this is what I literally cannot see. And I have to do them one at a time. With the seed beads, I just scooped and scooped and scooped until my wire was full. Or you could use a bead spinner. Cannot really do that with these garnets. So sorry, I am going to watch that replay. I want to know. I'm so fascinated to hear what happened. It was just a little meditation moment of watching Sam and hearing something completely unrelated. Yeah, it's so funny because Jesse was like trying to be quiet because he's like, "What's going on?" Oh my goodness. Well, that packages are getting out the door. It is good news, at least. It could have just been you like snickering over there, like, ha ha ha, Sam's not on screen. Sam ate too many Heath bars.
He ate all the Heath bars.
You ate one, right?
I did. After you had bought the next bag, we put them all in. Then I had one. And it was really good.
Oh yeah, when we were first assembling the October boxes and putting the Heath bars in, I intentionally bought an extra bag, so there could be a few lying around that I could nibble on. But then once we got to assembling, we were 10 short. We were supposed to have about 10 extra after the nibbly ones. But We did not. We were 10 short, and I had to go back to Target and buy more Heath bars for the boxes. And then we were able to assemble one more extra box yesterday, and I'm like, oh, do we have another Heath bar? I'm like, oh, no. I also ate that one. So I'm like convinced this bead doesn't have a hole in it. Oh my god. Can someone tell me the best thing that happened to them this week? I'm just gonna pretend I really enjoy my speed of this and trick myself into liking this part of the process, because it is part of the process, so I need to accept it, I guess. It has been a busy week at the shop. We got all the November bead boxes shipped out on Wednesday. They are pretty. I'm so curious to see what people think. Every month I'm terrified, without fail, terrified. My sister's like, Sam, you say you're always terrified. I'm like, I know, but it's still a real feeling. So, Shara, have you gotten yours? Because I feel like it would have been potentially delivered today. I dropped them off at the post office right by your house. Yay, we have the best thing from Shara. One of my students brought me homemade chili and chocolate chip cookies on the rainy day. It was glorious. What a combo. Like a comforting stew and chocolate chip cookies. Fantastic. Danielle, thank you. I'm so glad you relate. But you're very speedy with your weaving and your seed beading and your knotting and everything. Your hands are like have a mind of their own. I think it's time for me to get some some magnifiers. If I'm gonna keep trying to do this, I'm gonna kill my eyes.
You're not getting any younger, Sam.
I'm not getting younger. Thank you, Jazzy.
Neither am I.
Kathy, hi Kathy. I paid off the mortgage on my daughter's house today, finished a quilted wall hanging, and knit some of my sweater. Well, Kathy, that sounds like 3 awesome things. I like the mix of Taskmaster and like financial win and creative wins. All right, let's do a check-in in a moment, see where I am at with these garnets. Thing is, I now have to do this the same way. I don't know. That was so 10 minutes ago. We've got about 2 inches. Let's do a few more. I got my eyes checked right before the pandemic started, and somehow they said they were just fine. But I have been looking at a screen much more in the last 2 years. Banana split. Oh my god. And when I was prepping, I was like, I could make a second straight. I don't know if we'll get to it. And here we are. But here we are finishing. Deb, thank you so much. Our code word today, if I go off camera, is banana split. It is something I will
You're not looking at the screen, so it doesn't matter.
Jesse is coming for me today. Too funny. Oh my goodness. Oh, so this is why it's good when Jesse says banana split, because it's the only other sense I have available to me. Alrighty, that is actually more garnet than last time. We should have more than enough to get going. Let's start wrapping. If you're just joining us, I see a few more folks joining. We are making Christmas tree earrings with some fun wire clusters. I actually think I'm liking the direction these are heading. It's like a giant Christmas tree topper made out of garnet, and that's fantastic. Jesse was saying it might be time to get our little shop Christmas tree
I
up.
was just about to type that in the comments, like to make Santa the tree this week.
I think it's time because we have basically the tree is adorned with all ornaments of customers. So I wasn't doing anything.
I want to see what you are doing.
All right, thank you for the banana splits. What I did is I put my wire through to anchor it, held it, did 2 wraps, and now we're pretty well anchored onto this, and we shall start. This might be where I cut out. We shall not know until I watch the replay. And again, I'm just going to bring my beads on and allow space between them. I guarantee this one will not look identical to the other, but we'll try to get it close. Bring in a few more of my garnets. And a few more. Hey. Actually, doing that straighten the wire before we started has I can really helped. These garnets are having no issue. Nicole, I have also started the Christmas music listening, and it's glorious. Jesse was playing some the other night. Who are you playing? What was it?
Most people call them TSO, but it's
TSO.
Siberian Orchestra.
I mean, it seemed familiar what you played.
It's very popular for synchronized light, house lighting.
Okay.
Like people who like deck their house out and play music. And
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, it's
100%.
popular for that.
See, I didn't grow up with Christmas, so I'm still like a little bit playing catch up, and I just love everything about it. The Christmas joy is fantastic. Alrighty, see, I'm just wrapping where it seems like the wire wants to go, but it's already getting a little wider, so I might need to kind of bring that in a little bit and see what I can do. We'll see what happens. Let's keep going. I feel like I'm doing this incredibly differently than last time. I'm already at the top. Wire kink. Come on, Garnet. I believe in you. If you don't want to force that with C bead, it's probably not going to break. And also it wouldn't have gotten stuck this easily. But that garnet is caught on that tiny little bump that I can see there in the wire. And I might not be able to get the leverage to straighten it out without creating another kink. But if I can at least get it closer, then I'll call that a win. That worked. Let's bring in a couple more beads and compare. All right, kind of filling in those gaps again. Oh, there's still not enough up here. I only have 1 garnet bead left, so we'll see if that's enough. Bringing my last garnet down. It's stuck. Alrighty, if you want to use gemstones, use 24 or 26 gauge wire. Lesson learned on this one. Alrighty. I got a little lopsided on that side. Let's see where we're at. All right, if I can just tighten things up, they'll be decently close to each other. Looks like we got off a couple wraps ago. So I'm going to bring all of this in, closer in, and see if we can get back on track, which I think we can. It is handmade jewelry. It does not need to be exact. If someone wanted something exactly the same, they can buy something that's not handmade. The handmade is part of the charm. Okay. This one, it's very interesting. It looks like I was wrapping directionally less, so it has more straight lines, and I don't like it. I like this one. Looks like I did a bit more crossing over as I did the wraps. I'm not going to try to redo that at this moment, but just one thing to pay attention to, clearly. All right, bring it back around, and we're going to try to tuck in our end. We also need to cut off our anchor. I need a new pair of flush cutters. My favorite pair kind of wore down and don't work well anymore. I've been using this pair, but these aren't a true flush cutter. These aren't. I think these are like a semi-flush cutter from Bead. I miss my good flush cutters because I cannot get in to my wires easily right now. All right, well, we'll say this is the this is the front side where it's a little closer on this side. I have that extra looping I did, which I might be able to take off. But that's generally what the technique is. It's a little free form. That extra wire there is bothering me. But generally, that's the gist of how these earrings work. And I'm loving this combo. So there's one win. I think this could also 100% work with this sort of technique. Someone was asking if I had a tutorial. That's on the YouTube channel. I think they're called Melon Drop cluster earrings. And we have a few minutes. I'm actually kind of curious what that does, but that is the base technique for our Christmas trees. One knotted head pin and a whole bunch of free-form wrapping. Hey, now this one's starting to grow on me because it's a funny thing. I like each of them for its own personality, but they're not identical twins. They're each actually, I do like each of them for very different reasons. All right, I'm very curious now. We have about 10 minutes left. Why don't we see if this technique works well with the Christmas tree beads? I think it totally could. These are a 5mm fire polish. Bye, Jesse. See you next week, Jesse. See if I have any 5mm beads near me. That would work. I have a million other beads near me. Not what I want. Where are those 5mm fire polish? I could try it with the garnets, actually. Why not? It'll be a lot of little things. Not a lot of little head pins. Alrighty, for these, I definitely recommend ball head pins because they really show in the design. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of my copper head pins. If they were shorter, that probably would be better to have less waste, but these are what I got, so I want to use what I got. Actually, they're too small. These would would take 1 million beads. So give me a second. I'm gonna grab. Oh, I have some. We gotta pick a color. 5mm fire polish. Let's do it with the red trees now. So we'll have one pair of earrings with every color of trees. All right, I grabbed one of our grab bags with red. Ooh, look at that AB clear. That could be very Christmassy. Could go for a classic green combo. All right, these two could work. I don't know if I like any of those. Alrighty, green or clear. Brenda, the Christmas tree beads I have linked in this post. I have them in 3 colors. They come in a pack with all 3 colors at samsbeadshop.com. You can also, I think, just in this was set up this post, so you can literally comment sold on this stream and to claim a set. Just make sure to click the button that my page messages you. Cindy, Amelia, Kim, and Karen want clear. We're doing clear. I think I like that up more. Alrighty, so for these earrings, it's a lot more exact. It's 6 5mm beads per row, so a total of 12. We're just gonna make one earring right now, and then call it. Michelle says, "How about some of both colors?" Oh my gosh, Michelle. Oh my gosh. Wait, but then we have to put red in it too. Clear, green. I have an AB red. I have a standard red. Let's do AB red while we're at it. Oh my god. It's happening. I want to always design with y'all because now this is going to be even more fun. So let's do 4 of each. And these, all you need is a simple loop. Which I despise. But that's okay. They don't have to be perfect for this design. You also really can't see them, but you do want them secure so they're not going to come off. So make sure every loop is fully closed. And just repeat that a bunch of times. I'm very curious if we end up liking the design that we were originally intending to do in class more than the original design. They'll both be options here. Many ways to use the Christmas tree beads. Rachel Mouse is very speedy. Banana split. At making her simple loops very quickly. I could also make the loops smaller. They don't actually need to be this big, but you do want them somewhat consistent so that they come out the same distance. I am loving all of this color mix on the tray here. Just so folks know, these are the 5mm grab bags from the site. I think if you search blowout on the site, you'll find those. They're packs of 12 strands. No, 13 strands. They're an awesome deal. Banana split. Let me just adjust the camera. Maybe it'll help me a little bit. All right, we've got 4 red. We need 12 total. So I'm going to move on to my green. Brenda says, how much are the beads? Brenda, maybe actually they're, I think, $4.75 for a package of 15, including all 3 colors in that. But I have the listing will be the most helpful to you. So if you look at this, if you look at the link in this post, there's a direct link to the Christmas tree beads that someone might also be able to help you. I don't have Jesse anymore who could drop the link, unfortunately. See that one, that loop, way too far away. So we're gonna redo that one. Yeah, I think these Christmas trees are gonna be so fun to use all season. I want to do more than just earrings with them. When I sent them to Rachel Miles, she said, "Oh my god, I want to make Christmas tree ornaments out of those. It'll be Christmas tree inception." Wanda's grabbed the link in case that doesn't work for you, Brenda. Oh my god, these are going to be so sparkly with all the AB coating that we have on the green. Oh, and the red and the clear. They all have AB coating. So these are going to be very sparkly Christmas earrings in just a moment. But it does require some prep work. We've got 4 red, 2 green, Shara, are you done working for the week? Are you home? Are you relaxing? Alrighty. 3 green. I thought I'd get faster as I went, and I'm I feel like I'm a train who's put the brakes on unintentionally, and I'm grinding to a halt. Four green, time for clear. Last 4 beads. Prudence, what do you think of the 3mm fire polish? Are you going to use those for? I remember you had done some looming projects in the past with the 3mm. Brenda, if the screen is freezing on you, I recommend, Jesse often says leaving and coming back really helps. Also make sure you're on the strongest connection you have, whether that be Wi-Fi or data, but Jesse says he leaves the stream like every 10 minutes just to make it better and smoother. This is also streaming to YouTube right now. If you go to the Sam's Beach Up YouTube channel, and YouTube maybe is more reliable than Facebook, wouldn't be shocked. I feel like Google has their stuff together a little bit better. 4 red, 4 green, and 2 clear. Ruth is asking about the snowflake wires. I am in talks with Bead this year to get theirs, because I think theirs are maybe a thinner gauge, and they have the proper number of points. But they are having issues with the supply chain getting them in. So they said they'll be able to get them to me by like early December. So I'll definitely get those. But I had wanted them a lot earlier. So we shall see. I love doing all those ornament parties on the frames last year. So I will do my best. We might have to get a little bit more creative with everything going on and maybe do some more. We could do other types of icicle ornaments, not using the frames, and just using all of our pretty beads. All right, we have 4 of each color ready to go. And now I got to look back at how the heck I made this. All right, it starts with our knotted headband again. I know I use 18 gauge on these, but I'm going to stick with my 20 since I know it works with the trees. And come in to make my knotted headpin as I've shown twice today. Thank you, Wanda, for the knotted headpin alert. I appreciate it. And if you don't tell us, I don't know how we would know. We would be at a total loss here. Oh my god, it's my best one of the day. It's very pleased. Wanda, I actually think you did that. Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty, knotted headpin. On goes our red Christmas tree. And then we got to decide how we want to do spacers. Maybe not as many spacers, but I think the spacers do help. And you also definitely need those saucer ones on either end to kind of bring the rows together. So let me go grab those. Do my best. My beads are all over here. feel like I'm missing a bead tray. Where could they be? I might have to get creative. Shara, did you break into my office again? Ah, never mind. I found beadies. Alrighty, I'm gonna stick with my saucers because I know those work. These are just from my stash. They're nothing too fancy. And then maybe another. These ones I'd use Daisy, but let's try something else today. Ooh, these will be fun. Alrighty, I'm gonna go for a copper bicone. One. Wait, I feel like I could just use more beads. All right, we're gonna go for a crystal bead, saucer, and then let's mix up all those loop-de-loops. I hope this is still interesting, folks. I got sidetracked. This is what my brain does. I'm not really putting these on in any particular order. Shara, you should just come do one of these classes with me. It'd be so fun to bead with you in person. I would literally love that so much. You're not that far away. Just drive down Adeline. All right, I wasn't counting. I think that was all 12. We'll know once we put the other saucer on it. Give it a shake. Oh my god. They're totally random looking, and I almost wish it was underneath a tree, but very fun. Let's go with it and see what happens. Wait, but that would be so cool with the tree above it. Okay, we're hold, please. This is happening. They feel like this is gonna be a lot better. Danielle, I did go with it. I changed my mind. There was something about how I want that tree to be like the front and center of it. I think it would be really nice. Mealy says, yay, flip it. Yeah, like gifts under the tree. Thank you, Connie. Exactly. Yeah, I think, and then if it doesn't work, we'll go right back. God, these would be pretty with a whole nother row of them. Because this is only 2 rows. You can do more. If I did 3 rows, it could kind of round out more. Like a little Christmas ball of joy. Let's do another crystal bead. These are 5mm rounds. The 5mm seem to work really well for this design. Wait, it looks silly. Let's try stacking that tree right on it without the crystal bead. The 5mm Cindy fit 6 to a row like perfectly somehow. I don't think I like it. Or maybe I just don't like it with the tree. Maybe it's Christmas earrings without the Christmas tree. The tree feels like it doesn't belong. Leave it to me to leave the original design in the dust. Like, I kind of like it. What if I just wrapped it? What if that's my earring? That might be my earring, folks. Wait, are all the green together? No. Unacceptable. Can I fix it without redoing it? I think this is my earring. I'm calling it a day right here. I think that's really pretty. Let's do a nice large loop. Bye bye Christmas tree. We can have Christmas without you. If you like it with the Christmas tree, definitely do it with the Christmas tree. Something was not balancing, and it might have been the size of the cluster against the size of the Christmas tree. It might have been a little bit too competing. The melon drops kind of have this energy, because I think they taper in, it allowed for the cluster to kind of take more focus. Well, these are fun. There's our little cluster ball. I love how shimmery they are. So there's 2 Christmas holiday fun ideas for you. Try some of them out. See what you like. Any preferences? We'll go 1, 2, 3. Which one's your favorite? 1, crystal ball. 2 or 3. I think my favorite is 3. They don't match. Oh well. But shocking, the gemstone one calls to me. Those are beautiful. Oh, I love it. Let's see what the votes are saying. 1, 1, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 3 from Wanda. Wanda, pick one. 1, 3, 1, 3. No one went for 2. So long for the original project. I think it's pretty balanced between 1 and 3. That's funny. Yeah, I feel like we just hit a bunch of very fun projects. So if you make anything, we've got a gem chat group. It's our community Facebook group where you can share what you're making. Show us your projects. We just learned you don't even need the Christmas tree beads to make these. I know oh, you can't see what I'm showing. You can use your existing 5mm fire polish to make these, and then once your Christmas tree beads come in, try these out. Oh my god, these are really cute. I'm loving it. Alrighty, folks. We are a few minutes after the hour, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up class. I need a sip of water. Yeah, Anna Marie says try smaller beads with the tree. I think a smaller cluster would really work. So maybe if I had stuck with doing with the garnets or maybe a 3mm fire polish, it would have worked really nicely. I'll post the gem chat group in the comments. Are you ready? I have it queued up always. Go. It's in the comments if you want to join gem chat. Yeah, I think the cluster would work with 3mm fire polish. Someone might have to give that a go and see how it looks. Tell us how many you need to make a cluster. All right, y'all. I will see you on Monday. Keep an eye out for the texts and emails. It's going to be a totally wackadoodle schedule for the next month around Thanksgiving for lives and whatnot. So keep an eye out. We also I just posted a question in the VIP group. So go to the VIP group and look at my question about mystery boxes. We haven't done mystery boxes for 2 or 3 years, and I think it might be time again. So go to the VIP group. I'm collecting an interest list because we need enough people to make it kind of worthwhile. I have to get it I have to buy a large quantity of beads to be able to do large quantity of closeouts to be able to do the boxes. So go put your input there in the VIP group. That's different than Gem Chat. I'll put the VIP group in the comments. Now the VIP group is linked in the comments. That's Sam's Bead Shop VIP. So everyone have an awesome weekend. let's see. Danielle said, I promise I will do a pattern for something in it. In which thing? I gotta scroll back. Which piece? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Have a great weekend, everyone. Happy beading. Go make something. Go give someone a hug. Who wants a hug? Have a good one.